Good day, Daniel Rowe with you. Let's talk about money, savings, and investment opportunities.
Recently, Vanguard released a forecast that may feel like a cold shower for many investors. The message is simple but uncomfortable. The next decade in the stock market is likely to look very different from the last one, and not in a better way. In short, expected returns for U.S. equities are becoming more modest. Analysts project that broad U.S. markets, including the S&P 500, may deliver around 3 to 5% annually. Large-cap growth stocks, especially the mega-cap tech names that dominated the past decade, could produce even lower results. This is not a worst-case scenario. It's the base case. The real question isn't whether the market will grow. The question is what happens to your financial plan if the machine that made you wealthier for 10 straight years suddenly slows down by 50 to 60%. Let's break down 3 key points. 1. Why the last decade was unusually strong. 2. Why retirement calculations based on old assumptions may now be risky. 3. What practical adjustments you can make. Imagine your investment portfolio as a river feeding a city. For 10 years, heavy rains upstream kept the river wide and powerful. The city expanded. People built houses close to the water. Farmers planted crops that required constant irrigation. Everyone assumed the flow would remain strong forever. Now imagine a hydrologist returning with new data. Rainfall patterns are changing. The river won't dry up, but it will narrow. The problem isn't that the water disappears. The problem is that the city was built for a larger flow. That river is market returns. And the homes built close to the water represent people already retired, or about to be. From 2013 to 2023, the S&P 500 delivered roughly 12% annualized returns, including dividends. If you invested $400,000 in 2013 and simply left it untouched, by 2023 you might have had over $1.3 million. That wasn't necessarily skill. It was environment. Near zero interest rates, aggressive quantitative easing, explosive tech sector growth, and massive pandemic stimulus created ideal conditions. These were powerful upstream, rain events. Now imagine that same $400,000 compounding at 5% for the next 10 years. The result would be roughly $650,000. Same starting capital, completely different outcome. Many investors respond, but 5% is still positive. True, the issue isn't growth versus decline. The issue is expectations. If your retirement plan was built assuming 7 to 8% annual returns, and reality turns out to be closer to 4 to 5%, your long-term projections begin to erode quietly. Interestingly, projections also highlight different opportunity areas. Analysts see relatively stronger prospects in U.S. value stocks, developed international markets, broad global diversification. Yet many portfolios are heavily concentrated in large U.S. growth stocks. The top companies now represent a significant portion of the S&P 500. Investors believe they are diversified. In reality, many are making a concentrated bet on a small group of giants. The broader economic backdrop adds complexity. GDP growth around 1.5%. Unemployment drifting toward 5%. Inflation near 3%. Low growth combined with persistent inflation is uncomfortable, especially for retirees. Inflation steadily erodes purchasing power. Consider the well-known 4% rule. If you have $1 million, you withdraw $40,000 annually. Historically, This was considered sustainable. But that rule was developed decades ago under very different conditions. Add 3% inflation. That $40,000 buys less each year. If your portfolio grows at 5% nominal, but inflation runs at 3%, your real return is closer to 2%. Now consider sequence of returns risk. One of the most overlooked threats in retirement planning. Two investors may both average 5% annually over 20 years. But if investor A experiences losses in the first few retirement years while withdrawing money, and investor B experiences losses at the end, investor B likely finishes with significantly more wealth. Why? Because investor A sold assets at depressed prices and never benefited from their recovery. The order of returns matters more than the average. Many people also assume they will ease into retirement gradually, consulting, part-time work, reduced hours. In reality, health issues, layoffs, restructurings, or burnout often force earlier exits. Relying on future part-time income isn't a strategy. It's an added layer of uncertainty. So what can you do? First, lower your assumptions. Run your retirement projections at 4 to 5% nominal returns. If the plan doesn't hold, better to know now. Second, review your international allocation. If less than 20% of your portfolio is outside the US, you are implicitly betting on continued American outperformance. That may be reasonable, but it should be a conscious decision. Third, build a cash buffer. Holding 1 to 2 years of expenses in cash or short-term bonds can prevent forced selling during downturns. This directly reduces sequence risk. Fourth, stress test inflation. The difference between 2% and 3%. Inflation over 20 years is not trivial. It can dramatically affect long-term purchasing power. The key insight is simple. The last decade trained investors to believe that strong, fast market growth is the default state. Historically, it isn't. The extraordinary performance from 2013 to 2023 was driven by specific, powerful conditions. Those conditions have changed. No one is predicting collapse. The message is recalibration. The river is still flowing, just not as wide as before. And long-term success now depends less on optimism and more on adjusting your expectations to the new reality.
Want more ideas on how to increase your income? Then hit the like button, share your capital goals in the comments, and make sure to